What's up, Wavehealernation? Welcome back to another episode of Tsunami Healing. You guys know that I don't do interviews as much anymore. I usually bring you into the vlogs, into whatever live event that I'm at, but I thought it would be great to have back one of our returning guests. I love talking to her. I love just getting to know what she's working on, and she has been killing it with her music, and she has a lot going on right now. So please welcome back to the show. You know her, Lexi Layne. Lexi, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me again. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, so I want to get right into it. You just had a brand new song come out back in September called Serpent. I'm
Mhm.
excited for it because you said that I believe you wrote the song and you sing it, and you obviously recorded it, put it in the studio. It sounds amazing. And it was sort of like shedding an old part of yourself. And you put all of that effort and energy into this kind of shedding your skin, coming out into a new chapter of your life. I kind of feel like I'm in the same space. So tell us a little bit about it. How did you get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, Serpent was an idea of mine for about, I want to say like 2 years ago it started. I was going through a period of my life where I just felt that I needed to really just let go of this old self, these old parts of me that weren't serving my newest self that was trying to, come out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously music is so healing for me that I was like, there's no better way to do this than to write a song about it. And I brought it to my producer, Kevin McCombs. He's absolutely amazing to work with. And he loved the whole concept and the idea. And we just started ripping it apart and going at it. And I couldn't be more pleased with the final product that came out.
Yeah, no, I love it. Tell us a little bit about the recording process. It seemed like you were having a lot of fun with the ad libs and with the screaming, obviously, and I feel like it was a little different from what kind of deviated from what you had done in the past with some of your music. And I feel like it was a whole, like you said, a whole brand new Lexi. So, how was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, the whole experience, as a whole was absolutely amazing. I did definitely take a different approach and a different direction, and I wanted that. I really wanted to come out really hot, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
just because I haven't released music since 2020, my EP, Sinner and Saint. And I really wanted to challenge myself and do something different. I always say, like, the best way to grow is, approaching the things that you're scared of or doing something that maybe you never thought that you could see yourself doing. And one of those things for me was, screaming. I always consider myself more of like a powerhouse vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
And when me and Kevin sat down in the studio and started, doing the demo for Serpent, I was like, I just hear screams on this and I don't want it to be anybody else but me, because that whole bridge part of Serpent is literally like me purging my life, is how it really feels in that bridge. And yeah, I took one scream lesson with Metal Marys. She was amazing. And I don't know, they just kind of flew out of me. And I remember when we did the demo, the screams were okay. But again, I'm a very big critic on myself. So when we went in to do the final screams, my producer's like, all right, have you been practicing? And I'm like, no. And I don't know what's going to come out of me today, but we're just going to make it work. And, I'm sure you saw, I posted some like raw takes of my final screams, and that's just kind of what came out. And we rolled with it. And I was so happy the way they came out. So the whole process was very challenging, but had a really great ending.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely, and I'm glad you. Thank you for sharing that with us. I kind of feel similar in a way in like my acting career because I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Tell me if this was similar for you, but like I feel like sometimes like if I have a role or if I'm doing an audition or something, I feel like if I practice it too much, it's like overkill. And I feel like some of the magic actually happens when I go in and I just kind of improv it or I kind of feel it in the moment. Was that kind of what happened? It sounded like that kind of happened with you with doing the screams.
Yeah, no, it was literally that 100% to the T. I really just wanted that like raw organic emotion and feeling to come out. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's something I'm pretty consistent with my music, is everything is a really raw feeling. Like I want people to listen to my music and be like, oh, wow, like I can really just feel what she's going through without looking at a music video or a picture of her. I can hear it in her voice. And I think that is why I went about it that way, that I just want to hone in on this. Like I am, screaming out all of this old life that doesn't need to be a part of me anymore. And I want it to sound organic and angry and vulnerable all at the same time. And I think we accomplished that.
Mm-hmm. If you would like to go into it, would you like to share a little bit of kind of what you were shedding or what you were purging? And then kind of on the other side of that, where do you feel like you are taking this next step in this next chapter of life into?
I just feel like something really happened like once I turned 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happens is we all get so comfortable in these patterns of life, right? Like, our day-to-day job, or, a toxic relationship, or just toxic things maybe we do like within ourselves. And it wasn't that I was, dating anybody toxic. It was just a feeling that I can't explain, that I just had within myself, that I needed to change patterns. I needed to let go of certain people. And I needed to just shed old skin just to become this new person that I have become. And it's really hard, I think, for people to look in the mirror nowadays and be like, oh, well, I don't like this, I'm going to change it, because people are so used to, again, doing the whole day-to-day life. And change is hard. Change isn't always easy, but it was just something that I felt within me spiritually that needed to be done in order to be the woman that I am today.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And kind of to go along with that, I kind of had something similar happen to me too, which is I'm excited that we were brought together this way.
Yeah.
Recently, I was just really frustrated in my current situation, frustrated at my current job, and I'm currently right now I'm going through a job change, and I kind of had some downtime during the end of the year, and this is kind of the first time I've really like announced this like publicly on anything. Um, I learned that I just kept going to I would go to the gym because for me that's like my safe space, and like for me to get all the crap out of the way, so to speak, and like keep me grounded. Um, and and for me, I just kept doing yoga, and then lo and behold, long story short, I enrolled. I'm gonna do my yoga teacher training starting in January. Um,
Oh my God, amazing.
yeah,
Congratulations.
no, thank you. I'm excited about that because I got to a place, I'm sure kind of how you felt, where I wanted to be in a completely different world, a completely different environment, to where I felt like no matter, even if I have to go to work or even if I have to like do something, I want it to be a positive, uplifting space. And I felt like that's what I go when I need to restore myself. Like I go to do yoga because it makes me feel alive again. So as does all of my workouts and just going to the gym. So again, on the other side of that, Lexi, what do you feel like you're stepping into, and where do you feel like you're headed? Because I never saw myself going that way.
um, I just feel like I've stepped into this like higher power, this higher frequency, this higher energy that I'm just like being called to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what other way to explain it except for, once I stopped doing the patterns that I was doing and realized the worth that I actually have within myself, that's kind of just been sitting there. I've just been burying it with, crap on top of crap. And, once you rip the Band-Aid off, it's like, oh, okay, now I know what I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like this whole new album that I'm working on really explains everything from what I've let go of to what I am becoming, or to what I have become.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it's just this like within feeling that I just feel this higher call.
Mm-hmm.
I am super spiritual, and meditation has been a really big thing of mine. So when you said the yoga thing,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely resonate with that. It's just honoring yourself and loving yourself and knowing your self-worth. And it's not in an egotistical way by any means. It's just in a knowing who you are and standing in your power.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I think that stands the test of time because I haven't met you in person yet. I laugh about that, and I know we were trying to, but I feel like I know
I
you,
know.
Lexi, because
Yeah.
we've talked a few times before, and like the only reason I was able to be connected to you was Harley. And shout out to Harley. I'm excited to see her as Angelica Dante at WoW Women of Wrestling
Yeah.
this weekend at LA Comic Con. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Killing it.
yeah. But I was gonna ask you. Because I recently I had to let go of people and things too, and it's never fun. But do you still dance?
So, yes, with like the whole burlesque scene,
Mm-hmm.
such a touchy, not a touchy subject, but I'm definitely fading out of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Uh, that is definitely something that I am on the start of letting go of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love burlesque. I think it's a beautiful art. And I really did enjoy doing it for it's been about 6 years I've been doing burlesque. You know, and me and Harley still have our company right now, the Moonshine Maidens, which is so fun, you know, our improv burlesque show that we do. But she knows, she's like, I already know, you know, where you're heading, and this is not like a longevity thing for you. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no, it's not. I love you, but
Yeah.
you are the burlesque queen, not I.
No, for
So,
sure. And
yeah,
I was gonna say
fading out.
there's a point I'm getting to with this, but will we ever see you? Because I know Harley does this, and I know you and Harley are good friends. But will we ever see you in a wrestling ring?
Probably not. But it's
Okay.
really funny that it's funny you mentioned that though, because years ago when I actually first moved to LA, I tried out for a WWE females wrestling thing. I don't know if we ever spoke about this, but
No, we
it was
didn't. Please
something
tell
for like,
us.
yeah, it was something for like a TV show, and I actually got the gig. And they wanted me to move back to Florida to actually work in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a choice. It was either continue with my music or do the wrestling thing. And obviously, we all know what I picked. So no, probably will never see me in a ring. But you know, you never know. Never say never.
Got you. Yeah. No, I'm excited and glad you stay true to yourself and your true calling. But the reason I asked is because I don't know how to like fully explain this or if this will make sense, but I'm constantly thinking about the guests I've had on my show. I mean, obviously, because I reached back out to you, I was like, "Hey, we've been trying to get this interview going for a while," and I was like, "I need to talk to Lexi. I need to talk to Lexi." But I'm constantly thinking about my guests, and I'm always thinking, I'm like, dude, it would be so cool if so and so did this song or if they did this, and like I always think about like, dude, like what if like I hear these songs because I know you like alternative rock, and I'm like, dude, that would be so cool if like Lexi did a music video to that, or like if Harley and Lexi like teamed up and did this. That's why I was like, it would be really awesome if like kind of like I don't know if you pay attention to wrestling or if you like wrestling, but like Chris Jericho, he has his band Fozzy, like how he performs his Fozzy songs and then comes out to the entrance. I was like, dude, it'd be so cool if Harley like did a song for I'm sorry, it would be so cool if Lexi did a song for Harley and Harley came or Angelica Dante came out to one of Lexi's songs. I was just like, dude, that'd be so cool. That's why I was asking all
Well,
those questions.
yeah, no, it's so funny you say that because Harley's done some promo stuff where, like, you know, she's posting as Angelica Dante, and she'll use Dominate. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, sometimes when she posts, like, you know, on Instagram or whatever, you know, she'll like put the lyrics like "You will obey." So she always tells me though, she's like, as soon as I have a chance, you know, if they let me pick a song to come out, it's gonna be "Dominate" by you. And I'm like, do your thing. I love that. So
Yeah.
we've talked about that. You know, she knows she has like free reigns to use any of my music that she wants to use for, you know, the wrestling.
Yeah, and I guess like in my mind too, and I mean like you are, most of my guests are like multi-talented people like myself. So like I don't know, in my mind I see you as like a singer, a dancer, and like potentially an actor and like performer and entertainer because like I don't know, I just felt like you'd be good at all those things. So that's why I was
Well, you
asking.
know, I did start a musical theater, so you know, again, tap, jazz, ballet, hip hop, acting, singing, you know, those are my roots. So being on a big stage, performing live, and you know, playing characters, those are my real roots. So I love all of that.
That's so crazy. And it's I never knew about your WWE tryout. Like what even made you want to go to that? Just real quick before we move on.
Yeah, it was definitely when I first moved to LA. I want to say it was like within the first year and a half that I was here. And I was really just trying to get my feet wet and meet people.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like, okay, I probably would be really good at wrestling. And honestly, I just applied for it on like I'm probably not going to hear back, but let me just try.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And, I went to, I think it was about 2 callbacks, and they loved me and everyone was so sweet. But when I got that final call and they were like, all right, but you're going to have to come train in Orlando, because that's where most of the wrestlers train. And I'm like, I just moved to LA to pursue a music career, not a wrestling career. Why would I move back? That doesn't make sense. So in my mind, it was a really great opportunity, but it was a really easy decision for me to say no. So
To that extent, are you a wrestling fan or do you just support Harley?
I feel like when I was younger, like, I used to watch wrestling. Am I like a massive fan? No. Do I support Harley? 100%. So if it's wrestling and Harley needs my support, I'm 100% there.
Got you. That's really cool. I've been a wrestling fan since I was like a little kid, and I've been in and out of it for a long time. But anyway, moving on. You have a brand new song that just came out December 8th. Tell us about your brand new song that just came out.
Yeah, so my newest single is The High Priestess. I think this is my favorite one on the album, to be honest. And I think as the album unfolds and more singles from the album comes out, people will really start to see what the theme is here, because there really is a very specific theme going on. The reason why The High Priestess came out after Serpent is, with the way the story goes, is I'm shedding my old skin, which is how Serpent is, and becoming this high priestess. So, the high priestess to me, it's honoring the divine feminine. It's honoring myself in a not in an egotistical way. It's honoring all the women out there. And it really is a mantra, for women to feel like they are worthy and they are strong and they are powerful and they can do anything that they put their mind to, and that they should always fight for what they want and not be belittled or put down. And, it's okay if, we've gone through hardships and toxic patterns in life, as long as at the end of the day, we're getting back up, we're standing on our feet, and we're remembering who we are as women. And so it's definitely a very woman empowerment song. And I really love the approach that we took on it. It was a very vulnerable song for me. It starts out very slow, and then as it builds, kind of explodes in the chorus, and, so on throughout the bridge. So I'm really, really excited, that people are listening to it, and I'm just hoping they're loving it.
Yeah, no, and we can't wait for the full album to come out. And I'm just excited that I'm always looking. I'm like, did Lexi come out with new music? Is there new music? I'm like, so yeah, well, no, we're congratulations, and we're really excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, on that note too, tell us about your music career so far, because you've been at this for a while now. You have EPs, you have singles, now you have an album coming out. I know for a minute there was maybe some rumors of you being a lead singer of a really big band that's out there. Yeah, kind of where are you at and where do you want to take this, Lexi? Because I feel like, I don't know, there's a very bright future for you. I'm not sure where you want to go with it, and I'm not sure exactly how you want to get there or whatever, but I feel like you're going to be a prominent force within the music industry in general.
Well, first off, thank you. That means a lot. I'm just going with the motion. I'm just going where I'm called. And I really do feel like this is my destiny. Like, everything I'm doing feels so correct. And I want to say it really has been since I started working with my new producer, Kevin McCombs. We started working last December, and just the changeover with everything has been like a fire under my ass, to be honest. Like, everything has been exploding in the most positive way. And just people I'm working with and the quality of people I'm working with Even doing like some of the cover songs I've been doing, like having the artists repost my cover, like massive bands. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like a dream, I feel like I'm finally getting the recognition that I deserve. And I mean that in a really big, humble way. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been at this my whole life. I started writing my own music and working on a solo career at the age of like 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a really long time. It's just finally everything's really picking up the way that I want it to, and all the pieces are falling into place. So, my goal is to just keep working at this. I have a great team behind me. I'm not signed yet, so it's interesting. It's kind of like a double-edged sword where I'm happy that everything is still under just me. I'm not tied down to anybody yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it is really hard, managing myself by myself. My producer helps me a little bit too. And, just putting everything together visually and musically. And it's a lot. So I am excited eventually to get signed, or at least have management at some point, which is what we are leaning towards,
Mm-hmm.
probably in the beginning of 2024. But yeah, I'm just really grateful and, just growing my fan base, and we'll just kind of see where I end up.
Yeah, and with that too, do you want to be in a band or do you want to stay solo? Because I feel like what you're doing as a solo female alternative rock artist is something, you're kind of a trailblazer in that area. I don't know a lot of them. And that's really cool either way you want to go. Like, again, like I said, I think there's a very bright future for you. I was just curious, like, what direction do you want to take it?
Yeah, no, well, I feel like I am the band. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, it's Lexi Layne. And then you know what I mean? And then I hire my guys out, is what it is. I definitely feel like my newer music is leaning more towards the metal genre.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my music has progressively gotten darker, a little bit more musically inclined as well towards that more metal, like Spirit Box Ginger in this moment kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely the direction that I'm heading in. But no, I really think it'll always just stay Lexi Layne. And, I have my guys that I hire out that, they're always, it just feels like a band. You know what I mean? It feels like a nice big family. Like I have my brothers in my band,
Yeah, for sure.
So it'll definitely stay just Lexi Layne.
Got you. Very cool. And then with that too, I know you love again alternative rock, heavy metal, that rock sound. Do you deviate to other genres of music, or is that mostly where you draw your inspiration from, or the kind of music you want to produce?
I mean, I love all kinds of music for the most part. Like I do like some pop. I love Doja Cat. I love Halsey.
Mm-hmm.
I do like some R&B, some indie. So, for the album, I feel like we really drew a lot of inspiration from a bunch of artists. Definitely more in the heavy metal direction, but I feel like when it came to like our melodies, I feel like those were very drawn from more of a pop aspect in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed like sometimes when I'm recording, me and Kevin will laugh and he's like, I need you to do like the Britney Spears thing on this verse. And like, it's just like this inside joke we have now where it's just like this certain approach where it's more of like a pop approach, like where my vocals kind of sit. It's so funny. So again, I draw inspiration from whatever really just inspires me, whatever's around me.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. I think there's no limits of music, which is why I love it. And I don't tell me if you're into this or not because I'm a huge fan of it, and I kind of found it like during pandemic. Is dubstep, and I feel like it's evolving and changing. To me, dubstep is the mixture of like hardcore heavy rap and like hardcore heavy metal, like two of my favorite things. And I feel like they mix them together and like throw some electronic noises on it. But the reason I ask is because I feel like it's becoming more common and more prevalent where you see people like Papa Roach, and these alternative rock bands that raised us, in that emo alternative rock era. And they're collaborating with dubstep artists, and because they grew up on them, and they love them. And it's starting to happen more with rappers too. And again, I always think, I'm like, dude, it would be really freaking awesome if Lexi was screaming over top like an Excision or a Sullivan King song. So do you get into that kind of music at all?
I respect it. I think within like the whole kind of EDM realm, I think dubstep is the only one that I do like some stuff from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely not a massive fan. I could probably not name an artist off the top of my head for you. But I think it's more of just like if I hear something, I like it. But gotcha. I did want to touch on what you said about like the artist kind of, doing this crossover thing. Mm-hmm. I saw recently that actually Meg the Stallion collaborated with Spirit Box, which is one of my favorite bands. I think they're absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting because it's the first time that like rap and, heavy metal have really done this crossover, and they really nailed it. Like it's so crazy. I would never, ever think of that. But again, I think there's a lot of experiments going on right now in the music scene in all genres. And I personally love it because I hate the word genre sometimes because mm-hmm. music's music, right? Like yeah. It all just makes us feel some type of way, whatever, if it's pop, jazz, rap, whatever it may be. But I love that artists now are really experimenting with their sound and, doing this whole crossover thing. It makes me very eager to see where music will be like in the next 2 years.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's kind of how, new genres of music are, that bad word, are born, right? Because there's a lack of something, and then two things collaborate, and then you have a whole new sound that people want to put a label on. So, Lexi, I could be sitting here talking to you forever about everything, but thank you so much for spending some time with us. Again, tell us the name of your new songs, your new album, where they can find it, where they can find you, and how they can support you.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for having me today. It's always so much fun just sitting and chatting with you. If you want to follow me, my Instagram is the best way to see all of my links. It's Lexi_Layne. My newest single is The High Priestess. It's out right now on all musical streaming platforms. And make sure you also check out Serpent and the music video as well.
There you have it, folks. We'll tag it all up for you. Lexi, before we get you out of here, we're going to throw it back and just ask, what would you like to leave all the listeners of the Wavehealernation with out there?
Say that again?
Last question, just what would you like to leave all of the listeners with out there? Last kind of thoughts.
Honor yourself. Love what you do. If you feel like you need to change something, just do it. It's probably going to be the best thing, and you will not regret it.
There you have it, from the powerful High Priestess herself. Lexi, thank you so much for being here with us. I can't thank you enough.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
There you have it, Wavehealernation, Tsunami Healing. We are out of here. Until the next episode.